Hey guys, Fishmonger here. I just want to do a quick little video because some people have been asking about the setting up of the searching for Fishmonger. They've been having some issues with it, and they don't quite get the gist of it. So I want to try to see if I can explain this to you as quickly and as simply as I can, because I tend to ramble and make things more complicated than they need to be. So let me just pause this real quick. I'm gonna stop this actually. The number one most important thing you need to do. The first thing you got to do when you're going to fishing is you got to find the right spot. Absolutely important that you find the right spot. And what the hell do I mean by that? I mean that when you find a spot to fish, okay, you need to be able to cast, and your bobber needs to be the right color. If it's not, Fishmonger ain't gonna work, right? So for instance, that's a horrible color. That's a horrible color. That's a horrible color. Why are they horrible colors? Why are they horrible? Because the bobber itself, the top section right here, where that little circle thing is, you know, where the line hits the top of the bobber or whatever, like that's dull gray, okay? That's like a dull gray. That's bad. You really want it to be a bright white. Like, see how bright white that is? That's what you want. You don't want the dull gray, you want the bright white. So you want it to look like that, not that. And how do you get that? Well, simplest thing is just turning. That's the reality of it. Turning, going to a different direction. So if I go over here, and I'll just show you, if I stand here, right? Okay. And I'm going to look this way, I'm going to cast. All right. Horrible color. Top gray on the top of the bobber. Not what I want. I'm going to turn somewhere else. Oh, look. It's actually brighter. See that? See how it's brighter white compared to that? All right. So what this means is the direction here is not good, but it's like better this way. So if I slowly turn and cast the bobber out, you'll actually see it changing color and getting, hopefully, brighter and brighter. And it is. Look at that. Do you see that color difference? Do you see how if I'm going this way now and I'm facing this way, do you see how, look at that. You see how bright white the top of that is? It's almost the same color as that thing in the background. Alright, now compare that to this. If I turn this way, see how dull gray that is versus bright white? That is the number one most important thing you have to do. You gotta be facing the right direction. You gotta be getting your bobber the right color. So now that you got that, alright, we're gonna bring up our search window, and we need to make sure that our search window is large enough to cover where the bobber is, but not get any of the other crap in the background that could interfere with it. Because you only need to search for the bobber, not the junk in the background. So what I do is I'll just click on the Warcraft window and spam cast a bunch of times. So for instance, me doing this over and over again, you get an idea of where the bobber is going to land. It's going to pretty much be, and it always is, one of the things I've learned is it kind of always is, the fishing bar on the bottom, it's always like the width of the bar plus like a ½ inch. So from here to here. Like, so from there to a ½ inch, there to a ½ inch. And then, depending on which direction you're facing, it's going to be a little bit above or a little bit below, and it all depends on which direction you're facing. But I like to get it set up so it's kind of like just always right above that bar, right? So if I kind of go like this, see where I'm doing here? All right. Now I can basically just adjust this so I'm above the bar, and then to the left and the right by about a ½ inch. And then I want to find out where the top of the bobber is, like where the highest bobber cast is. It looks like so far it's about in this area, right? So I'm going to bring Fishmonger down so the top of my bobber is always within that area. So you see what I'm doing there? See how I'm spamming that up and it's in there? All right. So now my fishing search window is set. I'm just going to save this just so I don't lose that. But the searching window is set. So now my color's good. My searching window size is set. Now what I want to do is I'm going to adjust the color sensitivity, okay? And the way to do that, the easiest thing to do is bring up bobber tracking and then start off with a really low number. Alright, so I'm going to start at 10. Really low number. In fact, I'm using all my baits. I could take that off so it doesn't do this, it goes faster. But so I'm searching for 10, and what's happening is I'm recasting over and over and over again. You can see that I'm like missing all these fish. Alright, it's not catching anything, it's not seeing anything, it's missing everything. I'm going to stop. I'm also going to really quickly just take this off so I'm not putting this on every single time. So, what do I want? Okay. So, I'm going to raise this up a little bit. So, I don't know. I'll go from 10 to 20. I know this isn't going to be good. I know what number I got to be at, but I'm just doing this to show you. It's the easiest thing to do. It's just kind of raise it up slowly until you get to where you want to be. So, still going nowhere. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. I'm going to go to 30. Alright, I'll start again. Oh, and oh, see how the bobber hand moved, or the mouse hand moved a little bit? Oh, it moved again, but it's seeing it, but not long enough, and it's still shutting off. So we're getting to where we got to be, but we're not there yet. I'm going to go from 30 to 40. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. All right. So now what we're doing is we're decreasing actually the sensitivity of how it's searching for the bobber, and we're basically making it so it's more it's got more of a window, like a searching window for the color in this case. So we're broadening that window. We're making it so it's not as accurate and strict on the searching. So the higher you make the color sensitivity, the more likely it is to find the bobber. But it can also, if you have it too high, it's going to be an issue because it's going to find everything else but including the bobber. So you want to have it high enough to see it, but not too high where you're seeing everything else. So 40 here looks like it's a pretty good number because we're seeing the white on the top of the bobber and we're not interfering or seeing anything else. So if you notice, I went from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40. I got it on the fourth try, and I look like we're good. Now, it did miss there. Oh, and it missed there, too. So 40, while it's working better than 30, not quite where we want it to be. So I'm going to stop this, bring it up a tiny little bit again. I'm going to go to 50. I'm going to start that up. And what we should also see is, again, more of an improvement on the fishing, because it should be seeing the fact that it is that it should be seeing the bobber itself in the top white part of the bobber, but not anything else in the background. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to give you the cheat code here. For the color of this bobber with where it's at right now, anywhere in like the 60 to 80 range is going to be good. When you start getting into the hundreds or whatever, it's going to start giving you problems, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to go to 140. All right. Now what's probably going to happen is it not only sees the bobber, but it also sees the top of the feather, because the top of the feather has a very faint white line that goes around it. Do you see that? That very faint white line on the top of the feather? So it's seeing that in addition to the top of the bobber, and that's not good. So when you're too high, when the color sensitivity is too high, all right, what happens is the hand goes back and forth like left and right. So to fix that, you want to bring it down so it's not high enough to see the top of the feather, but you want it to be high enough where it sees the top of the bobber. So the direction I'm actually facing right now, I actually have a pretty big window. I think I'm going to be fine at 110, and I was probably fine at 60. So I have a huge area of like 60 to 110 for it to work. But just to show you, right, I'm going to catch a couple fish here, and I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to just turn a very small amount. All right, so I'm going to go 3 for 3 here. All right, I'm going to stop this. Now I'm going to turn a very small amount, and I'm going to start it up again. All right, and you're going to notice that it's probably still going to work because it's kind of, well, my color sensitivity is higher. It's 109, but where I was working before at 60, if I were to bring it to 60 here, it's probably not going to work here. I don't think it's going to be bright enough. Right, yeah, see how it's not catching it? Where it sees it, and it may see it, it may not, it may trip off. See it screwed up on that one, it's probably going to screw up on that one. So with a 60, that's not bright enough, but if I turn here and my bobber gets brighter, it's actually going to work. So that is basically the general gist of finding the right place and the right setup for Fishmonger. First, most important thing, find a spot where you can stand, where you can cast and get the bright bobber. And there's always some spot where you can go. In fact, it's weird. Like in the garrison, anywhere you stand and you face in this direction, generally you get the bright bobber. See that? But like I can stand over here and do the same thing. But if you stand the opposite direction and cast, you get the dark bobber. So it seems to be, I can't see the sun, but it's almost like puts the sun like behind you in one direction or whatever, and it makes it so it's good. Or the bobber color is dependent on where the sun location is, and that's even though it may not be visible, it's, I guess it's in the game engine, it's still there, it just doesn't show you. So that's why, like, I could stand here and I'll be good. See how it's super bright over there. I could stand, well, over here, get my strider, and let me take a little run. I can go over to this little island thingy over here and face the same direction. I'll get a nice bright bobber. See that? So that's the main key. 1, find that bright color bobber. 2, get your search window set so it's in the area where the bobber is going to be. All right, just like that. And then number 3, adjust your color sensitivity. Start off low, start it up. If you see it's missing a lot, just bring it up a little bit, 10 at a time or 20 at a time, until you get to where you want to be. But if you get a nice bright bobber, you could be as high as 60, 70, somewhere in that range, and you're going to be good. I've actually had certain areas, if you go out, like in an area out in the open world and it's super, super bright and sunny, there are some areas where it's like that. The garrison is a little bit darker because of the trees and all that crap. But some areas in the world, you could bring the color sensitivity all the way down to like 15 or 20. Actually, Margos's Retreat is like that. Some areas in Margos's Retreat you could stand where you can literally be at like 15 or 20, which is great because then it's like super accurate on seeing the bobber and nothing else, and it's really nice to fish up all the little jiggers that you need for that mount that you can get and all that crap. So this is Fishmonger. I'm gonna be signing out right now. You guys got any questions about how to use Fishmonger? If it's causing you issues, whatever, please send me an email. It's wowfishmonger@yahoo.com. I want to find out what's not working for you so I can fix it. Pretty much anybody who's talked to me via email, they tell me their problems, they send me some screenshots or whatever, they just give me an explanation of what's going on. I've worked with this program so much, I know how to fix what's going on, and I'll be happy to fix your problems. I want you to fish, I want you to make money, I want the program to work for you. So please just reach out to me if you're having issues, you're having problems, or you're having trouble with it. Don't forget, I do have, I have bobber tracking on. But I do have the quick getting started guide here, which basically has basically an overview of everything I just kind of went with for fishing. Like for instance here, it'll tell you the most important thing is angle your characters so when you cast, the top of the bobber is bright white. I've got this in red. I got it highlighted. This is extremely important to this success of your fishing. It really is important. But all this stuff here, you got to go through it. It's really important stuff. It's really critical. And then I even got examples here where you can see, good bobbers, bad bobbers, the search window. So, review this if you're having issues, but also hit me up with email if you're having problems because I want to help you guys out best I can.